Welcome to the No Clue Podcast, episode 159. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Tyler.
I'm Mike.
Welcome. We're 4 games in?
About
NBA
4 or
right
5
now?
games.
Okay. Yeah. Lots to see.
It's been an interesting first week and a half of the league.
It has. It looks pretty rough for a lot of the contenders right now.
It looks rough for a lot of teams right now.
It does.
A lot of teams. I don't know what it is about the start of this year, but it feels very even.
Yeah, it does.
Like nobody to me, and again, it's such a tiny sample size, but usually somebody comes out and gets like 4 or 5 really impressive wins in a row.
Haven't seen that.
Haven't really. I mean, there's a couple teams, but you question the teams that they've played.
Right. Good point. Okay, where do you want to start then?
Oh, we have to start with the Lakers. The mess that is the Los Angeles Lakers right now.
Yeah. So LeBron has missed 2 games.
Same ankle, I think.
Yeah. First game, they played the Spurs, right? Westbrook looked amazing. He looked sensational. AD looked great. Sensational. But and they beat the Spurs. But the next game, right, barely. But the next game, which was last night, as we're recording this, they played the Oklahoma City Thunder. And Westbrook had a quadruple double, man. I mean, he's so amazing, man. He got to be top 75. Got to be quadruple double.
I don't understand how.
20 points, 14 rebounds, 13 assists, 10 turnovers. 8 for 20. That's not bad.
Bizarre. It's bizarre that they're putting the ball in his hands as much as they are.
What do you mean?
Like, it looks so awful. It looks careless. It looks just like, yo, Russ, you got to be involved. Go do something.
Right.
Like, that's how you play normally, is you just kind of attack. So with 2 7-footers and LeBron, who's one of the biggest guys on the court, let's just get to the rack.
Right.
And it looks as it's looked, a complete mess.
Yeah, man. And the thing is, this team, I understand that they call themselves, getting a lot of shooters. Carmelo, Avery Bradley, Wayne Ellington, who's out. Ariza is out. Kendrick Nunn is out. Horton Tucker is out. They got Malik Monk. But for some reason, they don't help Westbrook at all. Like, spread the floor. Not at all.
No.
Westbrook drives. He has to make a bad pass to them. A lot of times they don't have a really good shot off of it. They're passing some possessions like way too much. Extra pass. And then at the end of the game, Westbrook and Anthony Davis take like a combined 50 shots in the game. So
it's honestly, they could be 0-5 right now. They could easily be 0-5.
Westbrook got ejected for fighting Darius. Is it Darius Bazley?
Darius Bazley, yeah.
Yeah. Bazley for the breakaway dunk with 1 second left.
Which, you come back from down 26. I'm not that mad at that.
You're down 26 and you win by 8. So it's a 34-point swing.
Yeah, so I'm not too upset about that. I don't know why Russ is frustrated by that when he had as many turnovers as you said.
And you're only up 4. It's not like, or was he up 4? Yeah, I think he was only up 4. So people can come back from 4 in 5 seconds. You might as well go dunk it. I mean, they're not going to come back from 6 in 5 seconds, but 4 is definitely possible to come back from. So I mean, I don't know, man.
Dude, they're such a mess. First of all, their other win required Carmelo's like vintage greatness.
The one when LeBron was there, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Him having like 28.
Yeah, him being just like top tier, like vintage New York Melo with the perimeter game going.
And then the next game, he had 4 points.
You know what I don't understand? Like, just from, again, small sample size, we picked up all these new players, and none of them really get to contribute.
No, Monk got a lot of good shots, had a great game against San Antonio.
Right.
But then against OKC, they barely fed him the ball.
Yeah, against Golden State opening night, barely got touches.
Yeah.
It's funny because Kuzma, who they seemingly didn't like, would get all these random opportunities to just do stuff.
Ingram too.
Yeah, but Malik Monk can't get that.
Right.
Like Austin Reeves gets to do that more than Malik Monk. I don't understand.
And where did Austin Reeves
come from? What is the point of that? I don't know. He was some like preseason hero for them.
Yeah.
They look like they're just hyped because he looks pretty shooting the ball.
Right. They went to overtime against the Spurs, where DeJounte Murray also had a triple-double.
Are you looking at the box score right now?
Yeah.
Take a look at what Jakob Poeltl did to them.
I was just about to say, the player, me and you have both on numerous occasions called the worst starting center in the league.
And did you watch the game?
I didn't watch all of it. I watched most of it. So. Dude, I caught the end of it.
Yeah, I got to see the fourth quarter and overtime.
Yeah.
Dude, Poeltl was rolling to the rim and posterizing guys.
He didn't even need to pass. No assists. 27, 14, again, no assists.
There's a fine line. We both have acknowledged multiple times that he's not a starting center.
Right.
That doesn't mean ignore him completely.
In the paint.
Exactly. And that's, I guess, the main point here that we've kind of avoided is their defense has been disgusting.
Bro, you have DeAndre Jordan, Anthony Davis, and Dwight Howard. Jakob Poeltl gets 14 rebounds. He got 7 offensive rebounds. 7 and 7. Perfect game. 27 points. 0 assists. 3 blocks. Bro, they didn't even make him kick it out. Like,
that's what I'm saying. It's the defense is so lazy. Like, Vogel used to be able to put a lineup in that all would work hard together.
Yeah. They
don't have that. They lost Caruso, who worked hard every minute.
Yeah.
They lost Kuzma, who maybe wasn't the smartest player, worked hard every minute.
Yeah.
And now they got guys who like Bazemore has given them good stretches. But it's like we don't want him touching the ball for some reason.
Right.
So it's bizarre how awful they've looked considering LeBron and AD are still running the show.
And it's also really bad that they look this awful because the guys they bring in only make teams normally look more awful. Like Kendrick Nunn is not going to improve anything from what they look like right now. It's just only going to make it worse.
To me, I still want to see Taylor Horton Tucker.
Taylor,
but yeah. Besides that, none of the guys that are missing are gonna fix their problems.
No, I think Ariza is probably someone that is a good either I have this shot or I pass it up kind of guy. But if he doesn't have if he's not scoring, I don't. What is he doing out there? Just running around.
That's what they're turning Malik Monk into.
Right. And he shouldn't.
And I hate it.
He's instant offense. Should be instant offense.
I hate it. Like, why can't we play through him? Why can't AD play off of guards?
Why can't he run cuts and get some nice shots.
But like he used to do it so well with Rondo. Now, I've been saying, he looks too lazy to do all that.
Yeah.
He just wants to attack the mismatch and then get mad that he couldn't react to a double team.
It's becoming comical how easy it is to double team him.
I just don't understand how the guys don't want to even take care of the ball.
The Lakers, I have no idea what the Lakers do in practice. I really don't. Like, I mean, not just this year. I mean, since LeBron has been there, since Vogel has been the head coach, their practice, like as far as actual mistakes that they make in the game, I never see improvement over the course of the season.
No, it just gets dumber.
Yeah. Yep. All right. What's next? Who's next?
Let's talk about somebody you've liked. Give me a team that you've noticed that you've liked. Let's talk about Golden State, their opening night opponent.
Okay. Golden
Undefeated,
State.
By the way.
They look great, man. They look so good.
Hey, man, they were crazy. Picking the Lakers apart opening night.
Yeah.
It was like the Lakers defense was atrocious, but like they just kept killing them. Just kept moving the ball. It was fun to watch.
And I am still back and forth. Well, I should say going into this season, I was still back and forth on Wiggins. I'll acknowledge. I liked Wiggins on the roster, but as far as him actually in the games, I wasn't sure. But if they play how they play now, where Wiggins can just score, we don't need anything else. We don't need your defense to be all that great. We don't need you to make any passes. We don't need you to have any court vision. When you get it, your job is to just take a shot. It works. It's been working. He'll drive. If he gets caught, he kicks it out. But I mean,
I don't believe it's reliable though.
Exactly. I don't know how much they expect from him like that for the whole season, but I do think with Clay, we have to think when Clay comes back, the court's going to be more spread out with Wiseman.
I mean, honestly, they do look great.
They look great.
They look great, and they're the complete opposite. Where the Lakers, chemistry-wise, look like they hate each other.
Yeah.
The Warriors look like they're having so much fun.
Yeah, they do. It looks like he never left.
Exactly.
I mean, it's only been a year, or 2 years, but he looks great.
He fits right in.
Yeah, he does.
And their play style, like Draymond being such a forceful ball mover, forces guys to get involved in plays.
Yeah.
So, like, this is my problem with the Lakers. Again, it's Malik Monk just doesn't touch the ball.
Right.
Where everybody, Kevon Looney's touching the ball in the offense.
Yep.
Just to be involved, just to be a threat, which the Warriors do so well. They've always done so well.
Yeah, and they have, Poole looks fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic. I praised Poole a lot coming out of college, but, after the first year, I was like, maybe I was wrong. Maybe he's not that guy, but the Warriors just show how sticking with a player that wants to work and wants to improve and wants to be great, they'll get better and better. Like I'm sure I wasn't really in on the Warriors at the time when Clay came, but I'm sure when he first got to the league, they were like, yo, man, you need to handle the ball. And Mark Jackson was probably like, nah, he's cool. We got this. I'm sure other coaches were probably hesitant, saying,
Do you remember Mark Jackson's solution was let's post Clay up?
Yeah. Yep.
So bad.
Yeah. But, sometimes you got to experiment with some things to find what the right thing is,
100%.
Yeah. And I think they did the same thing with Poole, because I think they thought Poole was just going to be a catch and shoot, just going to be off ball scorer. And now they have him running the offense sometimes. He's doing that little weave around the pick and roll kind of things now. I mean, he looks great. Looks great. I mean, he's holding it down for Clay big time.
Again, everybody's involved.
They are.
That's
absolutely.
why you could see the young guys getting better because they're getting opportunities.
Yep.
I would say, again, their defense isn't very good.
No, it's not.
But they're with them, the issue is like just their roster isn't really built to play great defense.
No, it's not. Definitely not.
Like they don't really have an inside, like a rim protector, which I think could hurt them on both ends in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But again, with Steph, with Clay,
yeah,
with Iguodala playing that great.
Wiseman's coming back. You know, he goes for blocks. He's not a, devastating shot blocker, but you think about him in there.
He's at worst a step in the right direction, to fix that.
Yep.
But again, it's hard for me to doubt this team.
I'm also curious to see what Kuminga brings when he gets healthy.
Yeah,
because he's a really athletic power forward. I know he goes for blocks, he gets dunks, he has a nice mid range. Seeing what Jalen Green is doing, man. Anybody who played in that G League team, I want to see them immediately.
Okay.
I mean, Warriors, they're there, man. They are there.
I cannot wait to see them full strength.
Yeah. Also a break probably.
I like that they're taking time with Clay because they clearly knew that they were like ready to go.
Yeah.
And their guys are only going to get better over the course of the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like this extra month of playing time for these guys is only going to help them.
Shout out to Damian Lee too. I mean, he was one of my favorite college players that 1 year at Louisville. And he went to the league and I just lost him because the league lost him. I was like, man, what happened to Damian Lee? I haven't seen him in a while. Then like 8 years later, Warriors pick him up and he just needed opportunity. That's it.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, I don't know how Otto Porter is going to figure it out because he looks so lost out there. He's like the only person on the team that does not look like he fits at all. And he should. Yeah. His game looks like it should.
I agree. It definitely should. I just he doesn't seem mobile enough.
Yeah, which is weird because that was like the thing. He was a mobile 6'9". And
but he was playing center, to be fair. So he's gotten much better.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the Warriors play so fast.
Yeah, they do.
That you got to be able to Poole flies around.
Mm-hmm.
Toscano Anderson flies around on both ends. I don't see that speed from Porter.
Right. And it always looks like Porter is trying to find the right spot, like which spot he's supposed to be in.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he can shoot, he can hit threes, but he's not a only 3-point shooter. He's not a designated 3-point shooter at all.
Yeah, he's not a specialist.
They're going to have to figure out a way to get him some inside out, some mid-range, some high post stuff going, I think, eventually. Maybe in their new small ball lineup. I don't know. All right, Warriors look great. Let's talk about the Clippers, man. The Warriors beat the Clippers. The Clippers.
They destroyed Portland, I believe.
They did destroy Portland. Unfortunately, that's not saying a lot.
Which led to Chauncey calling the team out 3 games into the season, but good times, good times over there in Portland.
And they play Portland again tomorrow. But they lost to the Grizzlies, lost to the Warriors. Were the Warriors their first game? I thought they had a game before that. Maybe not. Warriors look like their first game as well. They look terrible, man. I got to be honest with you.
Terrible.
To me, they do. Which is bad because even them beating the Blazers, I didn't think they looked great. I just thought the Blazers were terrible. Damian shot 4 for 15. Blazers are going to lose 8 out of 10 times. That happens. But
it's been happening a lot. But
I know.
No, I don't know,
Kennard
man.
had 23 that game. How often is that going to happen this season?
It's weird. Ty Lue's now buying into everyone.
Yeah.
I don't want them not every roster is built to succeed like the Warriors do.
Right.
And the Clippers, without Kawhi, it's like a everybody eats situation.
Yeah.
Again, like it's not that you're off your roster was great. It's that Reggie Jackson was great and Paul George at times was great.
Right.
Like I never thought their play style was, without Kawhi, they could just, get wins on any given night.
Right.
Their defense has never been good enough.
Nope.
Their depth hasn't gotten any better, any more creative.
No. It's gotten worse, actually.
And I just it's predictable the way they play through Paul George.
Is Ibaka ever coming? Is he ever playing again?
I couldn't tell you.
He's just gonna wait till Kawhi plays.
He's gonna be waiting a long time.
Marcus Morris is out, left knee injury maintenance. Ty Lue looks like he's never watched Bledsoe play before in his life. Number one. Two, to your point with the Paul George thing, it does look like he saw what Paul George did last year that was off the cuff instinct from Paul George. And he said, well, maybe we can work that into an offense. And it's not a good offense. Like it was way better when Paul George was just doing it just because he had to do it than it is now that Ty Lue has like crafted this play style based around Paul George having, play initiating.
Yes.
And it's not it. Because Paul George play initiating and Bledsoe being involved in the play off the ball as like an option is
sounds
big
bad.
L. It's a fat L.
It doesn't even sound good when you just tell me about it.
I know. Bledsoe should be sixth man on this team, in my opinion. I think Man or Kennard starting is just fine. I don't know what Winslow's role is on the team. He goes out there. I have no idea what he's supposed to be doing. They're playing Hartenstein so much. I mean, I get it. Ibaka's not there. Marcus Morris isn't there. But
and it's like Terrence Mann got better. The War again, compared to a team we just talked about, the Warriors had guys make significant strides. Now you don't have to do meaningful things in the offseason.
Right.
Which you still do, but you're not as it's not as necessary.
Right.
Here, Terrence Mann got better.
Yeah.
That's it. Everybody else is either a vet, we know what kind of player they are, or it's Bledsoe, who the coach doesn't even know what he plays like.
That's it, man. I mean, the Cavs made it look easy beating them. Like, the Cavs.
They couldn't get 80 points.
The Cavs had great balance scoring. Kevin Love had 10 and 10 off the bench. Rubio had 15 off the bench. Markkanen started at the 3 or at the 4. I don't even know. Mobley looks great. Best game in Mobley's early career. Sexton looked like Iverson against them. Or he looked like Westbrook against them, honestly.
See, this is going like straight to the certain rack. Comparisons we make that it's an exposure of the defense when we have to make them.
Exactly.
Like when Jakob Poeltl is getting Shaq numbers, like that's a problem. It's the same thing here.
Yeah.
Obviously, Sexton's not a bum, but like he's cooking you.
Right. He shouldn't be cooking your whole team. His play should not determine the whole game alone. Like it.
I mean, did you not learn your lesson from your opening night?
Yeah.
When Steph Curry ran circles around the roster?
Yeah.
And Paul George still had the audacity to like hype him up to do more.
The Clippers are probably the worst switching team I've ever seen in basketball.
I don't know why they stick to it.
Bledsoe is guarding somebody. He guards them good one possession. Next possession, they switch, and whoever it is just scores right away. No matter who it is. Paul George, Reggie Jackson, Batum.
Every time.
As soon as Bledsoe gets off him, they just go right to the basket.
At least Kawhi was willing to fight through switches.
Yeah.
It took like 5 games of a first round series for him to start doing it.
Right.
But at least he did it. I don't see anybody on this team, with the exception of Bledsoe, even willing to do that.
No, I don't either. I
mean, Patrick Beverley was a guy who at least tried.
Yeah, or he at least lay the screener out.
Right.
And Bledsoe only does it because he knows if he doesn't, they're going to go score. So every game they've had, the point guard has been the highest scorer.
They're just soft, to be honest. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
They're not even willing to improve. At least the Lakers try to play defense, and it doesn't work because of certain issues.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the Warriors are just a little too small at certain positions.
Yeah.
Clippers have had the tools to be good and just don't do it.
Yep. They let the Grizzlies beat them with their starting 5. There was only 13 bench points. Starting 5, 17, 21, 22, 19, 28.
Those are bad losses. Yeah. When you allow a team to win a game without even getting good depth.
Yeah.
Like, that's Memphis just beating you on a bad night.
Yep.
So I'm not saying their season is like, I'm not saying they're a lottery team yet.
Yeah.
But their ceiling is not, it's low.
It is. It's very low. They're disappointing me early. And it's not, I want to keep in mind for people who are listening to us, we're not talking based off the records. We're talking based on how teams are playing. Because obviously we know the records aren't going to be 1-4 for the whole season. They're going to win some games. But
records don't matter until at least like 10 games into the year.
Right. And it's the play styles and what they're doing on the court that is bothering us. Who's next?
Let's stay in the West. Anybody else that's caught your eye in a good or bad way?
I haven't seen a lot of the West teams play. I'll just say
Phoenix?
This, man. Oh yeah, we can go Phoenix. We can go.
I don't have too much to say about them.
Tough losses. They're all been pretty tough losses.
Good win against the Lakers.
Yeah. CP looks a little bit. Maybe the minutes need to come down a tad. So far, he does. He looks a little tired. Booker looks good. Ayton. I mean, everyone else, I think they're doing okay. I feel like they're missing something from CP that I don't know if he's out of gas or he's not feeling it. I don't know. He's been the one every game that I've been kind of, I don't know what happened here kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. It's weird. Like, watching them in the Laker game, they're starting to look predictable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, their core hasn't been together that long and they had one great run.
Yeah.
And now it's pretty much the same team for the most part.
Yeah.
And it's like, you could kind of feel the things they're going for on the court now.
Yeah.
Like, you see the same sets they ran to get D-Book, the same shots.
Yep.
Ayton is still like, he's not that good the way they use him, but yet he's involved all the time.
Right.
And their wings are, they may have gotten slightly better, but it's meaningless because of the way they're very guard heavy.
Right.
So again, I'm not saying they've like regressed in a significant way. It just looks like it's going to be easier to stop them this year.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing is, CP hasn't been playing very go-to guy-esque for them this year so far. And maybe he'll turn that on once he gets his feet under him, once he gets back in shape. But I'm questioning if, obviously Booker can score, but is Booker the kind of scorer that wins the games for the team as a scorer without CP being there as a scorer? Or is he just the kind of dude who just, like Iverson, can get 30 every night, but the team's not going to win the game, or it doesn't really affect how the momentum of the teams play. So
yeah, you know what I want to see
CP is
from
that
Booker?
Mm-hmm.
From Booker, I think like Beal made a progression from coming in as a shooter to just improving in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I think Booker has gotten better at scoring in the ways he was already good at scoring.
Mm-hmm.
Like his mid-range, which was a strength from the time he got to the league, has gotten better.
Has gotten deadly, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But his three-pointer, it's streaky, I guess.
Yeah.
But he hasn't really gotten better as a playmaker, hasn't gotten better as a defender.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of hit or miss as an off-ball player.
Right.
And I think Phoenix, if they're not going to change how they play slightly to kind of bring along more of the role players, they're going to need Booker to be more versatile.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree.
But I just haven't seen any versatility from him.
No, he's not a good play initiator. For someone as big and strong as he is, you would think he would have like better range as a 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
Like he can hit him every once in a while if he's hot, but like you would think him shooting from 30, 33 feet isn't like a surprise, but it is.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of one man attack. And that doesn't, to both of our points, that doesn't affect the team. That doesn't push the team forward in the game. It just,
and again, a lot of the guys who play his position, they had to do that for the team to get, as the team got better.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell had to do it. Yep. Bradley Beal had to do it. Middleton had to do it.
Yep.
Zach LaVine is doing it right now.
Yeah, he is.
So that's the thing. I like Phoenix, so I don't know if they're going to need that.
Mm-hmm.
But from what we've seen, I think it definitely helps the team.
Yeah.
It gives them a layer I think they're going to need for another playoff run.
Yeah. And the thing is, especially if CP isn't going to be what they need from him, which was being the go-to guy. Because even though Booker is the better scorer, game on the line, they gave the ball to CP. They need a bucket in momentum. They need a momentum stopping basket. They gave the ball to CP.
Yeah.
And when he's not doing that, Booker's not the guy for that. That's just not his game.
And then on top of that, CP kind of doesn't have a reason to be out there.
Exactly.
If you're gonna do that.
Exactly, because he's not a stand and watch. He's not a great catch and shoot guy. It's just, he's just there. So obviously that's on Monty to figure that out, but it's getting to the point. I mean, I know it's early in the season again, but how they're playing is getting to the point where he needs to start switching it up. If he wants to make some wild decisions right now, let's do it. Let's try stuff out, but can't be 15 games in and not have a good looking record. Not this year.
Yeah, I think they'll do something in around the trade deadline if their record isn't quite as good.
Mm-hmm.
But I really don't see their record slipping that much.
We'll see.
We'll see how even kind of the playoff teams are at the mid-season mark. But
yeah,
I will say last point for Houston is their bad situation, their bad contract. Oh, did I say Houston?
Yeah, Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix. Their bad contract situation right before the season with Ayton.
Yeah,
is a bad sign.
It is.
So next summer, and we might have a rough conversation about that.
Yeah, because every team in the league would take him right now. Everybody.
And everybody would pay him too.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay. Real quick about Houston. Great segue. For Houston, 4 or 5 years, man, Jalen Green is gonna be top 5 player in this league.
Dude.
Maybe not even 4. Maybe 3. I mean, 'he is ridiculous, man. What he did to Boston.
Dude.
What he did to Boston. 4 years ago. What he did to Houston. 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 4 years ago. What he did Rookie 3-point record. He was dunking on everybody. He had like 3 ridiculous dunks. I don't see any weakness in his offensive game. I really don't.
Dude, why? Nobody said he was like John Morant going to the basket.
You didn't know he had bounce like that?
I mean, I knew he had bounce, not like that.
Or like body control like that?
Yeah, he's really Morant with his dunk package.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have like the layup finesse, obviously, that Morant has.
Yeah, not quite, right?
Right.
But he doesn't need
like
it
you
because
said,
he's
4
so
or
much
5
bigger.
years, 4 or 5 years, he's probably gonna have some of it.
Yeah.
So,
bro, he's only like 25 pounds from being like unstoppable on offense.
Yeah,
honestly,
he looks a little thin, and besides that, he's just a bucket.
He is. He is tough. I mean,
I'll give you a guy. I'll give you another guy who's early in his career who's looking tough.
Who?
And Minnesota.
Oh, Edwards.
Edwards looks legit.
He looks great. He already looks great.
Dude, he's another guy. Like, I didn't know Jalen Green had bounce like that. I didn't think Anthony Edwards would like be draining jumpers the way he has.
Yeah. And at Georgia, there was like 2 or 3 games he had like 4 or 5 threes.
Hey,
I mean, he can do everything.
He's a bucket.
He's a bucket.
And Minnesota's in a good spot right now.
They are. I mean, they're a team that if they can get their role guys to have Warrior-esque, development, they're going to be tough.
And they also, I would like to see them healthy for a year.
Yeah, just one year.
Every time one of their top 4 players misses like 70% of the year.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm hoping they last, but I like how they're playing right now, man. Look great chemistry.
D'Angelo Russell is playing right now, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. I haven't seen
guys playing pretty well.
And they got Patrick Beverly out there.
Yeah.
That's an underrated pickup for them. Solid backup for them.
Yeah,
solid.
They've been bad for such a long time, but I've never looked at their roster and thought like this sucks.
I think last year was the year before last was the only time I felt that way.
But like they've never been the Detroit bad or like Cleveland bad.
Yeah, there's Detroit at one point. If you like, everyone on their team would get picked last in a pickup game. Like, like their whole team would have next. Like, all right, y'all got next. Yeah. Oh, you guys on the same team. All right, cool. You got it. But Minnesota has never been like that. You're right. Because even when like Shabazz Muhammad was there, I mean, they had guys to play with them. Beasley, Kevin Martin, they would get some random guys that were still good players.
Yeah.
I'm excited for them too. I am. I hope that their process, they've had a lot of trust the process moments. I hope that, it can take a step in the right direction for once.
Yeah.
Because I remember they had Shabazz Muhammad, Levine, Wiggins, and Towns all together. And like, the league thought they were going to go crazy once they all finally reached their peaks. But,
Levine like tore his ACL, I think.
Yeah, and then got traded for Jimmy. And then Shabazz, whatever happened to him.
Did you see? Oh, he sucked. He couldn't go right.
Yeah.
I watched him in person. I watched him a couple of Wizards games. I don't know how. In back-to-back years, I got to see the one Minnesota game. Probably because it was cheap because both teams were losing.
Right.
But he couldn't go right at all. Two games I watched him. He didn't go right one time.
Nope. That was him. Okay. Let's talk about Charlotte real quick. Miles Bridges is, I forgot the stat, so don't quote me on this, but I believe he's like the first player in Charlotte to average 30 in the first 5 games, something like that. to have 30 in 3 of the first 5 games or something crazy like that. And they're 4-1. And they look electrifying as a team. I mean,
yeah. But again, I think I mentioned it last episode. LaMelo has got to take a step in the right direction.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
And with this early sample size, his perimeter game has been a lot more consistent.
A lot more. Yep.
And if he could sustain that, obviously he's not going to stay hot all year.
Mm-hmm.
But if he could give them a consistent perimeter threat, dude, that's gonna leave room for Bridges to keep getting 30.
Yeah, it is.
So I like this team. This is another team who, like, their core is moving in the right direction.
Yeah, and I mean, they got the rookie Book Knight. PJ Washington is out right now. He's hurt. So when he comes back, I mean, he only adds to them. He doesn't take bad shots. He plays steady. You know, he shoots a good percentage. And then Scary Terry hasn't even played this season. So
and he's huge. He's a huge offensive piece.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're gonna do something, man.
I'm curious if they do have a good year. I want to see if they'll have Gordon Hayward coming into the playoffs.
Okay.
Because I think having his kind of steady, like, under control play style, I think it kind of helps their rotation, their offense, just how they, like, who they play through.
Yeah.
And I think they could be a real threat to somebody if he's playing.
And you're saying health-wise or trade-wise? Okay.
No, health-wise. I doubt they'll trade him because he's played well for them and he fits well.
Yeah.
And his contract sucks.
Yeah.
But again, he's fit really well. So with all these guys getting better, again, he plays in a way that it can't really hurt the guys getting better.
Right.
So I want to see what that looks like full strength.
I'm curious to see the Miami and Houston. I mean, not Houston. Miami and Charlotte game tomorrow. I think that's gonna be a good game.
We could talk about Miami. I haven't really seen them. I saw they destroyed Milwaukee after Milwaukee looked great opening night.
And Brooklyn.
But they got killed by somebody too.
Yeah, who was that?
Miami got killed by somebody. I can't remember who. The Pacers. It's a bad loss right there. But that's the Pacers' only win, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it is too.
I don't want to, there's nothing to say about the Pacers. Shout out to Chris Duarte. We'll talk about him much more, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But with Miami, man, Butler looks engaged.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah.
So that's the most important variable of the team. You know, like, certain guys stepping up for them doesn't surprise me at all. Whether it's Harrow, who's started off the season really well, which doesn't surprise me. I'm sure Lowry's going to give them a spark for like a month.
Yeah.
They're going to win. They're going to win using the whole rotation.
And Lowry's teams always come out hot. Like, Toronto has always come out quick and looking great in the first 15 games. They always are in the top 2, top 3 in the East. And that's just something, I think Lowry is a good leader in that way.
Yeah. But the problem is, I think Toronto's ceiling was never that high.
No, it wasn't. No.
Miami's ceiling is through the roof to me.
Yeah.
And they have, like, they needed a spark.
They did. And they have room to rotate leaders, rotate leadership. They have the room now. If Jimmy is willing to be a leader, but they have Kyle, they have Bam, they have all these guys that are respected in the league, respected on the team. They got guys who had, PJ Tucker, who had long career, has been on a lot of different teams, been in a lot of different locker rooms for a lot of different coaches, and Markieff Morris, another guy who's vocal leader, been in a lot of locker rooms, played for great coaches. Yeah, they got a squad. They do.
Yeah, their big thing for me, something for them I want to keep an eye on is, like, how they continue to use Bam.
Yeah.
Because to me, they kind of regressed last year, even though he got better. Which we predicted him getting better and like how that would impact the team. It didn't look that good last year.
I think they kind of overshot how good he got. He got better, but they were playing him like he took like 5 steps and he took 3, you know?
Right.
I don't think he took as many steps forward as they made it seem like he did.
Yeah, and this whole playing centers like they're Jokic, like they're premier play initiators.
It's not necessary at all.
Yeah, especially in Miami, who like in Denver, especially without Murray, I completely understand. With Embiid being as good as he is, I completely understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
With Bam, he's such an effective player. You don't need to like just kill the momentum of the team to force him to get involved.
Yeah, Bam was like a center Ben Simmons, because every time he got more than 3 feet away from the basket, he would just not shoot last year.
Yeah,
it would be he would try a floater here and there. Maybe he'd try a little jumper just like once every 6 games, but then they had him trying to handle the ball and try to initiate from the free throw line, extended or the elbow, and then
even as
and
like
no
a
one is
point
guarding
guard
him.
at times.
Yeah, no one guarded him at all. It was just like, okay, we back up because all we know Bam to do is drive. Then he was getting a bunch of charges. Remember, for a while he was getting like 2 charges every game.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to switch that up probably in the playoffs, but it was a little too late.
It's too late because they still generated the same like bad shots for him.
Yeah, exactly.
And I couldn't think of a worse team to do that against, by the way, than Milwaukee.
Oh yeah,
because they could get. There's a lot of teams you could get away with that, especially like Brooklyn, whose defense isn't very good. A lot of the lesser Eastern Conference teams, but Milwaukee, the biggest team in the league, potentially, no way.
Right. Yeah. And Milwaukee gets out and they run fast.
Oh yeah.
Those kind of teams, Chicago this year, Milwaukee, Atlanta, you better not make a mistake on offense because it's going back. It's going to be a layup, a dunk, a highlight, and that was the kind of stuff they did. But I need to see Miami more, and Miami's a team also. You can't just take them off one game. I need to see like 3 games in Miami before I can give like an actual, because
they could look like the best team in the league one night and look like a lottery team another night.
Because it's on Jimmy. Some days Jimmy just doesn't feel like playing. Lowry is a streaky scorer. Some days he'll have 30. Next game he'll have 6. And then
Lowry will throw up some garbage too.
Right. And Spoelstra's one of those guys who will change the rotation for who they play. Yeah. We play Golden State. All right, Bam, you're only playing half the time you normally play. We have no backup center, whatever. Okay, moving on. Let's see who we want to talk about. I don't have anything to say about Brooklyn.
I haven't watched too many teams. Yeah, like there's teams I've caught like a glimpse of. Like I caught a glimpse yesterday. I caught a glimpse of the Pelicans, and I could safely tell you we won't talk about them that much this year. I was excited for their talent, but the coaching change didn't fix the inexperience.
Right.
Didn't fix the lack of leadership.
Right.
And Willie Green just didn't. I didn't see any spark from the team.
No, I didn't either.
Like obviously, the team is gonna feel great when Brandon Ingram is going off.
Yeah.
But again, this team plays no defense. They make just really dumb mistakes.
And then they get shots off, but none of them are good shots. Well, I'll take that back. They get good shots, but they don't get high percentage shots off.
No, they don't. And they're comfortable not getting high percentage shots. Right.
And that's the problem. Because, a good shot could be a 60% shot. That could be a good shot for a lot of players. But they don't get 80%, 70%, 75% shots. No way. never. And they should. They have enough talent to do it. I think the Pelicans have to just acknowledge that they're not going to contend at all 1 year and just take a complete L and just play all backups for the whole season. Like,
dude, I think Zion is going to keep this team in purgatory.
He might.
Because they're going to stick with his hype for as long as, like, it's possible.
And they're going to try to win with it. That's the part that is the problem. Like, yo, Zion has the hype. That's cool. We're going to go with Herb Jones. We're going to go with, I saw some of the names last night. I heard the names last night. I didn't even know who they were. So let me pull up who they have, their roster. We're going to go with Jay Alvarado, Kyra Lewis.
Yeah, they had guys out there. I was like, dude, who are these, like, fill-in my career players? I've never heard of any of those names you said. I don't know where they came from. I don't remember them talking about it on ESPN yesterday.
Najee Marshall. They kept saying Marshall. I'm like, wow, they got Kendall Marshall?
Yeah, no shot. You're reaching. He can't help him though, man. They don't have a floor general.
No, they don't. But I'm serious. They have to just take an L 1 year. Say, look, Najee Marshall, you get out there. Kyra Lewis, you get out there. Jackson Hayes is starting. And Herb Jones. Like, we're just going to go with a team that is just off the wall and just see what happens. Because this, like, trying to put together a good team, it's not working. They don't have it.
That's the thing. The only positives to me from yesterday's game, for example, is Brandon Ingram and Devontae Graham.
They look great.
That's it. And that's like, that caters to what you're saying, where it's just like, yo, turn up, let the guys get better and go off.
Yeah, because Brandon Ingram and Devontae Graham is not going to take them anywhere. And you're just going to burn them out. And this is going to be a waste of time.
That's what I'm watching them yesterday. I'm like, yo, this team is never going to sustain winning games.
No, they're not.
I mean, Ingram is going to literally have to morph into Kevin Durant in front of our eyes.
That's not going to happen at all.
Devontae Graham will, like, turn into Steph Curry.
The only person they just throw out there thinking he's going to improve is Alexander Walker, and he gets worse every time I see him. And they act like, yo, he's almost there.
There's nothing impressive about him, to be honest.
Not at all, man.
He looks just like a fundamentally sound athletic guard. That's great.
Like this thing thinking, okay, we got Graham, we got Hart, we got Ingram, we got Zion, and we got Valanciunas. We're going to the playoffs. No, you're not. You're getting bounced out of the first round, then you won't have a good draft pick, and you're wasting time. So,
you know, it's funny to me, like, and I guess it goes back to the play style of the league, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's looked very even this season, as we mentioned so far.
Yeah.
To me, with the spacing being as crazy as it is now, and giving all these teams chances to, like, blow somebody out.
Yeah.
I just think if you can't prevent teams from getting layups, like New Orleans is one of those teams, you're hopeless.
Yeah.
Like it caps off your ceiling at maybe you'll luck into the second round.
Right.
That's it. You're not getting past that because by the conference finals, everybody plays defense.
Right.
So watching them yesterday, and Atlanta did not play well.
No, they didn't. And it was still an easy win.
Easy. Trae Young was controlling the game the whole time.
When are we going to acknowledge that Trae Young is the best point guard in the league? Like how much longer is it going to take? Not best player that plays point guard, but this dude, I mean, what is he averaging right now? I'm trying to see his assists. I know his assist average is crazy right now.
I mean, I didn't care to look at Trae Young last night because
he's averaging 27 and 10.
I didn't care to look at Trae Young last night because I knew he'd get buckets.
Yeah. You know, it'd be
like New Orleans doesn't have a hope. He could play them 10 times in a row and he'd average 34 with two to 5 bad shooting performances. He'd still average 34.
Yeah.
But what I'm seeing from Atlanta is, again, this roster is so well put together.
It's stacked.
Dude, DeAndre Hunter was exactly like the way they were struggling last night. DeAndre Hunter was the exact piece that they needed. A guy who, without rhythm, can still make a shot. A guy who's physical enough to just relentlessly attack guards.
Yep.
And he was
switch off.
And he was strapping.
Yep. Great switch player.
Whereas last year it was Gallinari getting caught on those switches.
Right.
Or Bogdanovich, who didn't even know, who just reached or hacked.
Yep.
Now Hunter with Reddish. This team has athletic versatility on both ends at every position.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, dude, they look incredible. Even on the game where they struggled, just the versatility they have all over the place is insane.
And they got versatility they don't even play. Like, that's what's crazy.
Put in the game.
Like TLC, I know Brooklyn straight up dissed him last season, but the year before that, he was nice. He was having a great season.
He could hop into the rotation and get buckets.
Yeah, he could on this team.
And 100%. He'd fit right in.
Yep. And Lou is out, and the other center who showed so much versatility last year, Okonkwo, he's out for the season, but they got more. I mean, like, and they got Gorgie Jang, which was like the perfect piece for them. He gets blocks, he catches lobs, and he can shoot. That's all they needed.
Yep.
I mean, they keep adding exactly the piece that they need. I don't know who their front office person is, but he's doing a great job.
Their last like 2 years have been incredible.
Their drafting since Collins has been flawless, in my opinion. Every draft pick.
Yeah. It's
Collins,
I mean, honestly,
Herter, Reddish, yeah, Hunter.
I can't even picture, other than Milwaukee, only because I just saw it last year. I can't even picture any roster in the Eastern Conference touching this team.
Yeah, me either. At full strength, I don't know how you beat this team. I really don't. Miami, I don't care. I don't know how you beat them at full strength.
Yeah, Brooklyn, Miami, they're not in the same league to me.
No.
Because Philly's not either. Philly's close, but they're not.
Yeah, and how they are right now, they're not close. Not without Ben.
Right.
And Atlanta, Collins and Trey are going to have a good game every night. If any other person has a good game, you're going to lose the game. Like, I mean, Capella, Collins, and Trey are going to do what they do every single night. And if Herter has a good shooting night, if Reddish has a good shooting night, if Hunter is doing what he does, yeah, it's over. Bogdanovich, if he's if Bogdanovich is taking good shots,
right,
it's over for you, man. He don't even have to make them. If he can just take some good ones, it's over for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Boston, are they trash? Is it code red for Boston yet? Just based on how they're losing, is what I know. It's only 5 games in, but
man, Boston is tough, man.
Y'all gonna beat them again on Saturday. That's what's crazy. Y'all beat the crap out of them Wednesday too.
Honestly, I watched them twice. Yeah, I watched the beatdown yesterday.
Yeah,
and I watched their season opener against the Knicks. Awesome game.
Great game. Might be the game of the season. First game. It was crazy.
So far, yeah, for sure.
The Raptors worked them. I mean, spanked them. 115-83.
Okay, I'm trying to think where I want to start with Boston. Again, another offseason, Jalen Brown looks to have gotten better. Like, I understand Tatum is a bucket. I get it. But he has no chemistry with anybody on the team.
Finally, you see it. They have to. It has to be done, man. It's over. It was great. It looks great. It works sometimes. It's not gonna make it.
But I just
can't.
Tatum opening night, by the way, that Knicks game was disgusting.
Obi Toppin had him on straps.
Dude, I don't know what the fuck he was doing, to be honest with you.
Me either, man.
Okay,
it looked like he was sabotaging the game, to be honest.
100%. You're cold. Like, that's okay. Other guys have it going.
Yep.
Dude, I saw Boston trying to run through the same sets that were giving them success.
Yep.
When Tatum would get the ball, the sets would just die.
Mm-hmm.
And the quality of shots he was getting, oh my God. At least Jalen Brown makes open threes before he starts chucking from the logo.
Told you, man, Tatum is like a top tier worst catch and shoot player in the league.
That's, again, because he can't catch and shoot. Like, he has to have the ball to make plays.
Yeah.
And it looks awful, honestly.
I don't understand why Boston's like whole team shoots bad on nights. Like we talked about Phoenix. CP could have a bad shooting night, but Payne shoots good. Crowder shoots well. Cameron Johnson shoots well. All these other guys do okay. But Boston can have like the entire roster shooting bad.
That's because they think they're as explosive shooting the ball as the Warriors, the Clippers, even Utah, Indiana, Miami, any of these teams that are even Houston.
Listen to these numbers. This is against Toronto. They lost by 30. What happened to it? They lost by 30 something. 32. Robert Williams was 4 for 7. Jalen Brown was 3 for 13. Horford was 5 for 12. Great game. Marcus Smart 0 for 6. Dennis Schroeder 1 for 4. Pritchard 1 for 4. Tatum was 8 for 14. He only had 18 points. He only shot 1 free throw. Smart shot 0 free throws. Horford shot 1. Williams shot 1. No one else on the bench shot any. Nor did they score. So Cantor had 2. Hernan Gomez had 4. Grant Williams
worries
had 5.
me about them so far, because again, very early, they could heat up very quickly. They look like Brad Stevens is still coaching there.
Yeah, they do.
Like that was my biggest takeaway from opening night, is how nothing about their play style changed.
No, it didn't. It looked like it looked like he thought that their play style was good and said, let me just improve on it a little bit. And instead of just saying, it wasn't good, let's switch it up.
Again, like the depth this team got, it looks useless.
Yeah.
It looks useless because Tatum is dominating the shot selection.
Yep.
I understand. Jalen Brown, I get it. He's cooking, or when he's not, he's got to be aggressive to be like the top tier threat on the team.
Yeah.
But why? Like, why does Tatum get that luxury, but only for himself? Like, Brown could be hot while other guys are still getting shots.
Mm-hmm.
If Tatum is hot, nobody else is touching the ball.
No.
If he's cold,
plays one-on-one.
And if he's cold, then guys have to sacrifice touches for him to heat up.
Mm-hmm.
It looked really bad opening night. And yesterday, they just sucked. It wasn't like a specific thing.
Right.
Again, they shoot the ball like they're the Warriors.
If you switch Tatum and Donovan, switch teams, which team gets to the championship?
I'm not doing that.
It's too obvious.
Yeah, it's too obvious.
Let me tell you, let me read this quote from Udoka after the loss to the Wizards. Your Wizards. It's a tough one. I see it as well. Udoka said of Brown's inconsistent play after Boston's 116-107 loss to the Washington Wizards on Wednesday. I'm trying to ramp him up during the game, pump him up to get going, but the contrast of some of those previous games, especially Charlotte and the New York game, and the way you see him come out tonight, it's kind of mind-boggling. It can be a number of things. He was out for 10 days and he was banged up with the knee, but just got to find the juice from the start. It's something that I can help him with, but him in some positions, I can help him put him in some positions to get going. But when I see that, have to jump on it early and help him get going.
I really.
What does this have to do with anything of Brown's play? Like,
I couldn't tell you.
It's such a terrible answer.
He came off of COVID and dropped 40. So you to be like, I don't know if he's got the energy because of COVID. Like, really, dude?
In a double overtime game, when like he just dropped 40, he played 55 minutes in that game. You know
what bothers me? We've had this problem so many times with duos.
Mm-hmm.
We had the problem with the Wizards backcourt. We didn't have the problem with the Splash Brothers ever.
Right.
We had the problem with Portland, CJ
Mm-hmm.
and Dame, same issues.
Mm-hmm.
Kawhi and PG, same issues.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron and AD, we used to like going downhill very quickly, but we'll see how that turns out.
Right.
Why do these teams have such an issue of having their best two players be a duo?
Well, why do you think? I have an answer. I could be wrong, but I have an answer.
In Boston, and I think it's different depending on the situation, obviously.
I think it can be the same reason. I think in most cases, one player doesn't commit to being off the ball.
That my point was going to be like different word, but basically the same thing, where I think one player is too selfish to take a step back.
Right. And that's the part that might not always be the same, because I just don't think I don't think Clay would ever be selfish enough to not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some guys just aren't selfish. I mean, I take it back. I think Clay, if he wanted to be selfish, he could, but it's just not who he is. And even if he was selfish, he wouldn't. I don't think he would play that much different. You know, what really could he do differently? Not that he's not good enough, but
the successful duos I mentioned, I think like there needs to be some kind of cohesiveness with the play styles.
Mm-hmm.
It can't like this. This is what I'm starting to realize. It can't just be two really good wings.
No.
Something about the league
rarely.
or these star players, it just does not mesh consistently.
Right.
Because I'm watching Brown and Tatum, and it blows my mind that they can't go off at the same time.
It's mind-boggling.
like I grew up in an era where LeBron and D Wade were going off at the same time.
Yeah.
To me, and their play styles are like identical essentially.
And yeah, in some ways, yeah. Yeah.
And these guys who could perfectly complement each other in so many ways do none of that.
Right.
And the coaching is saying dumb shit like you just said instead of figuring it like better shot selection.
Right.
It's bizarre to me considering how the league is getting more and more offensive.
And the other thing is, and a lot of the ones that work, one of the players either evolves or maybe they're already a decent ball distributor, at least decent. This is why I think, if Donovan Mitchell could get one, I think it would work easily because he's such a good passer. I mean, he proves he's a great passer for how good he is of a scorer. He's probably one of the better passer scorers in the league right now. Because anytime he needs to get an assist, he gets them. And that's one thing I think Beal and Wall, the step they took to get better together was Beal saying, I don't need to do anything but take shots. Wall saying, I don't need to take shots. I can just be a distributor and get my shots when I need to. When they were at their peak, that's how it was. And they could go off at the same time. They were great as a duo.
And they're both, and all those duos had like moments of greatness, except the Clippers.
Right.
But to me, like, to me, there should be a way, especially if you have good role players, there should be a way for Brown and Tatum to get good shots at the same time.
It should, but Tatum isn't a terrible passer. They're both terrible passers.
You're right. And Tatum also bricks open shots when he gets them. So
right. So there's zero chance of him being able to play off the ball. And so, that's the thing. The guy who isn't the good off the ball player has to be a good distributor. He has to be. Just like Westbrook and Paul George, that last year, they were like peak of a duo as you probably could be in the league at the time. And it was because Paul George took a step back as a ball handler and just started scoring, locking up on D. Westbrook didn't take a lot of shots when Paul George was out there. He didn't take a lot of threes or anything.
Yep.
Very rarely. Now he's out shooting threes. He's shooting jump shots. But he made the decision. I'm going to attack, kick it to Paul. Paul's just going to attack. And that's, and Brown is that kind of guy. He is the off the ball player that you need in a duo, but Tatum is not the on the ball player.
Yeah. I think just watching these early couple games, I do think it comes down to Tatum. Brown adapts slightly every year.
If you trade Tatum for Beal, you get the dynamic duo you're looking for. Like right now.
I agree.
Because Beal is a great passer as a wing. He's getting better and better at it. Hopefully they don't, because the Wizards look great too. But.
Right. I'll save. I want to see a little more from them. Shout out to Spencer Dinwiddie though.
You gotta give them credit, man. They look fantastic.
Their depth looks real.
It does.
Like their second unit doesn't have like a glaring weak link all the time. Finally.
And their first unit is versatile enough that they don't have to go 5 in, 5 out for their second unit. They could sprinkle some guys in because Kuzma, Dinwiddie, Montrezl, they both move down so well. Montrezl, he's at the 4. Okay, we need a big guy in. I mean, we need to go small. Montrezl moves to the 5. Kuzma plays 2 through 4. Dinwiddie plays 1 through 3. Yeah. Beal plays 1, 2, 3, whatever.
Yeah, they look good. Defense is still a little suspect, but we'll see how that improves.
Bertans plays 3, 4. Yeah.
I get it. I get why he plays, but he's the catalyst of a lot of that bad defense.
That's true.
Just like
he goes
Lakers,
for every pump fake.
Lakers are hyped for Melo moving up to in the scoring list, but he's not getting stops out there.
No, he's not. No. I'm telling you, they got to start Melo eventually. Have to.
Yeah. I'll do whatever it takes to get Russ out the starting lineup. It's just crazy to me. Like, you have 3 to 4 turnovers. I'd pull you to the side and be like, yo, you got to take care of the ball.
Yeah.
You're approaching to getting double digits all the time now.
Yeah, man.
Like, that is insane. What is Frank Vogel has to be saying something?
Bro, I forgot what year it was, but 2 or 3 years ago, remember I pulled up the assist leaders and the turnover leaders.
Oh, him and Harden were just historic.
Westbrook is so far over. He's way past people in turnovers than he is in assists. Like there's people who are 20 notches above him in assists that he's 20 notches above them in turnovers. Like it's crazy. He's above everybody in front of him in turnovers. in front of him in assist numbers. So,
but that'll reflect in how people see him in history, I think, because his assists won't get the same credit that Nash, Chris Paul, all those real point guards get.
Yeah.
Russ's assists won't mean the same
for basketball players, but I think a lot of people who haven't, handled the ball, who haven't played with like another point guard, they don't get it, man. They really don't. They think, Westbrook gets all these he gets all these assists. He's a great point guard. You remember some of the guys we went to school with would talk about it all the time, but me and you both were like, yeah, but he gives you 6 turnovers a night. He's led the league in turnovers every year. That Harden didn't.
I honestly, man, another point to just the league's play style, I think turnovers hurt more now.
Yeah.
Because they feed into the other team's offensive rhythm.
And a lot of teams are not afraid to take transition threes now.
Yeah.
You could have 2 turnovers, 2 or 3 turnovers in a Warriors game and be down 15 before you even know it.
You could you could that could happen with the bad teams now.
Yeah, it can. Yeah.
Like if you have a rough opening quarter, let's say you get 10 turnovers in the first quarter, you could be down 15 to Houston.
Oh yeah. Sacramento
for sure, Minnesota, any of these, even New Orleans.
Yeah. Real quick, to final team I want to talk about. Chicago, they play tonight. We're recording as they're about to play, but you better not have a turnover against Chicago, because it is going right in the basket. Right in the basket. They have these guys running the floor that I'm shocked to see them run the floor how they do. They look great.
You remember Phoenix? I don't remember when I realized this about Phoenix, but at some point in the playoffs, I was like, they have the best wing rotation in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have 4 guys who I think could fill in every wing necessity that you could need as a team.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Bulls right now have the best guard roster in the league.
They do, for sure.
Just top to bottom, their guard rotation is better than anybody's I've seen by far.
Yeah, it is. And people are really discounting how big of a deal getting DeRozan is. I think they forgot that DeRozan single-handedly for years carried Toronto as far as the scorer, and he's a go-to guy. I mean, he's still a go-to guy. He was a go-to guy for San Antonio. The team is just trash. They couldn't stay healthy. I think he played like maybe 20 games with Derek White because Derek White was hurt all the time. DeJounte Murray missed like 2 full seasons while he was there.
Yeah.
But man, they make Caruso look good. Caruso wouldn't go to a bad team and be doing all the circus stuff.
This play style is built for Caruso to thrive.
Exactly. It is. And Lonzo has improved to exactly what they need. Kobe White hasn't even played yet. And I mean, we saw what he's been doing. He's looked great. He's looked like a legit starting point guard in the league. Yeah. And now you have him coming off the bench. They're gonna be tough, man.
Yeah, I'm interested. They're falling in love with like relying on guards to get inside presence.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to the Warriors, like when you shoot the ball well and you could play well with guards, you forget about having an inside presence.
Right.
So I'm curious, like there's going to be a night where we catch them and they're shooting the ball poorly. I want to see how they adjust to that.
I don't think they'll need to, man. They get to the basket so well. Like the thing is,
I think tonight would be a good example if they're cold because the Knicks protect the rim much better.
And Knicks are leading the league in threes, so they better be ready to take some shots because you're not going to keep up. Knicks, I think we're averaging like 33s a game.
I love it.
I think it's the most in the first 4 games ever. They said it's crazy.
We're deep diving your Knicks in a couple weeks for sure.
Yeah. Hope they keep it up. The
No,
Knicks just
but
always
Chicago looks really good.
Chicago looks great. The Knicks always have that they're missing one piece kind of feel to them. We got good pickups. I mean, obviously this team is not a championship team. I mean, clearly. But we got great pickups, and it's just like, man, if we just had one more piece. But, nobody wants to play in New York, so we just need one more wing, man.
We'll see. I think y'all are fine. I think I was very wrong about how good y'all could be.
Fournier filling it up early.
It's one of the reasons, but he's not the main one.
Nerlens isn't even back. And what's his name? What's the big guy's name? Forgot his name already because he missed the whole season last year.
Oh, Robinson, Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, Mitchell Robinson, man, he's holding it down.
Great.
I love how quick he never takes dribbles. He never wastes time. He gets the rebound. He puts it right back in the basket. That's what I like.
He does.
Like
he's
Tyson
like
Chandler
pinnacle of what when DeAndre Jordan's like best stretch.
Yeah. Yep. All right. You want to talk any football?
No, I think we got a lot to cover basketball these first couple weeks talking about all these teams.
Yeah. Yep. Good looking season, man. A lot of competition, top to bottom. I'm waiting for that blockbuster trade though. I think it's gonna happen early. I don't think they're gonna wait till All-Star break, Christmas time.
Is Simmons gonna be part of this blockbuster trade? Because I'm starting to not think so.
I don't know.
Dude, I can't imagine if he's got a. I mean, we'll see how that situation plays out. But if he really just sits there all year, man, that's tough.
I'll give my prediction. I think John Wall will be in the Simmons trade. I think it will be 3 teams. That leaves John Wall on Philly. Not saying that it is good or bad, but I think that probably will be what happens at this point. Not because they want John Wall, but because John Wall is in limbo as well. Ben is in limbo, so I think they'll probably figure that out. Some picks. Houston has nothing to lose at this point. They have their future. It's there. They could give up everybody else, honestly. I think Jalen Green is that good. What are we building? Eric Gordon is done contributing to the team.
He just had a big night yesterday, I think.
Yeah, but it's not going to help them win. He's not for the future.
Sustain, right?
Yeah, they got their future. It's Green. Oh, my bad. It's Green. It's Porter. It's Tice. It's Wood. That's it. Everybody else, they'll figure it out. Yeah. They got Martin Jr. They got guys. They're built for the future. All right. We're gonna get out of here. Let's see. Do we miss anything at all? Any basketball news?
Nothing specific that I could think of.
Okay. Well, as always, thank you for listening. Subscribe, follow, do all that good stuff. And we'll see you guys next time.